Hi, I'm Marty Nemko. In a word, these thoughts on the following words and phrases may be under considered. Illegal immigration. Pro. People should be free to move where they want if they're in search of a better life. Their illegal entry is a livable minus. We should consider ourselves world citizens and redistribute toward greater equality rather than a world in which some can buy yachts while others starve. Con. Regarding illegal immigration. As a pool, people who choose to come here illegally, or at least their advocates, want the legal American taxpayer, including our hollowing out middle class, to pay for illegals' health care, education, including in their language, accommodation to their culture, crime, and so on. And the pool of people that chooses to come illegally tend to have high needs. Plus, if they're willing to break our laws to come here, once here, they may be more willing to break other laws. Besides, should we abandon the rule of law? What lesson does that teach us, including to our kids? Minimum wage. It should be raised modestly. The net effects on employers and investors' quality of life will be smaller than the improvement to the recipients of that increase. Of course, if raised too much, the number of jobs that'll kill will be too great. The goal should be to titrate an increase in the minimum wage for optimal improvement of world flourishing. And that brings me to the word optimize. Black-white thinking is usually inferior to nuanced titration of costs and benefits. That has particular, if controversial, potency regarding how much, if any, to additionally redistribute from society's contributors to other people, whether by taxation or by demographic preference. Wise titration also requires examining second-order effects on world flourishing. To that end, one should examine the effects of redistribution worldwide, now and over the centuries. Chatbots. Gemini, ChatGPT, and Claude dazzle us. The world of information distilled, even image generation, custom, fabulous, near free, instantly, 24/7, 365. But my dazzle has been fogged by a recognition of chatbots' limitations. Their databases are heavily weighed by the zeitgeist's current definitions of wisdom, and that is exacerbated by chatbots' human tuners, disproportionately being 20-something San Francisco liberals. So as with a respected person, I am involved with chatbots, but am aware of their limitations, vigilant to their tendency to sand my writing into zeitgeist-approvable pabulum. Sycophancy. Chatbots default to sycophancy, that is, excessive praise and agreement. A merely decent idea is often termed fantastic. Chatbots tend to support prompters' statements, unless factually wrong or politically incorrect, unless the chatbot is asked for a lethal, not sycophantic analysis. Parenthetically, I love using chatbots to enhance my writing. I write independently, send a draft to Gemini, which has the largest database. It will do some factual error finding and react to some philosophical epistemological issues. I then submit the revised draft to ChatGPT for tonal suggestions. Then I ask it to use its embedded DAL-E to render an accompanying image. And finally, I ask ChatGPT to critique that image and re-render it if needed. Temporizing. I am action-oriented and so don't sufficiently temporize. That is, do nothing. After all, time can heal, yield forgetting, and give me clear eyes. And doing nothing, by definition, takes no effort and imposes no cost. Restraint. In New York City, where I'm from, full-throated directness works better than in the San Francisco Bay Area, where I now live. Restraint is usually more effective, couching, tactful questioning, appropriately playing deaf to statements you feel aren't wise to answer. Performative. Perhaps it's a sign of the times, but I've used the word performative more in recent years. That word means doing something for show. An example I see here in the Bay Area, so-called virtue signaling, falling over yourself to show how liberal you are, like singing the praises of diversity. Meanwhile, you hide in an enclave and send your children to a far from diverse private school. I particularly scoff at zillionaire performers who could but don't give tens of millions of dollars to the poor they claim to care about without it softening their opulent lifestyle one prawn. Shoestring competitor. Often you can get most of the benefit for a fraction of the cost. Before trying out something expensive, is there a low-cost, low-effort way to pilot it, whether on the computer or on local or online volunteers? If results of that pilot are promising, you can scale up. If not, you've lost but a shoestring. Snuggle. A perhaps underrated physicality. Ball. Much happiness can derive from a simple ball, from beach ball to basketball. Conspicuous capitalism encourages ski equipment, golf equipment, fancy bikes, and get-ups, but the simple ball is underrated. What's your favorite ball? Taxes. Activists claim we're undertaxed. Huh. Middle-class people don't keep a dime of their earnings until mid-year. And that doesn't count what we often forget, property tax, sales tax, and even the more hidden taxes, property transfer fees, park admission, and driving taxes, gas tax, tire, excise tax, tolls, skyrocketing parking meter fees, $4 an hour, $32 a day here in much of Berkeley. Then there's the waste of time in filing income tax returns, which are gameable. Pruning. I'm not talking shrubs, I'm talking people and activities. We tend towards stasis, but should you prune some activities and people from your life, for example, that high-maintenance, annoying relative? And finally, life. Despite my complaints, I treasure life. Do you sufficiently? In any event, that's in a word. As usual, I welcome your thumbs up and accept your thumbs down. I always look forward to your comments and especially like it if you hit the share button below. Share on your social media so that my efforts can have broader impact. And I am flattered if you choose to subscribe to my channel. And certainly welcome you taking a look at any of my 36 books. Most relevant to this is my book, In a Word, but all 36 are on Amazon. In any event, I thank you for watching. I am Marty Nemko.